Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lethal Sales. We're also excited about NADA, the show coming up next weekend, next Thursday night. But before we get started, we want to hear from Russell because he's got this really cool thing to tell us about.
Okay, I gotta send a request to share my screen. It needs to be approved. Do you need to check my ID or anything or what?
Yeah, sure. I think I know who you are.
I don't know. He's usually wearing a suit. You can never tell these days with this AI stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see my screen. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, let me get rid of this. So you know how we're always talking about transparency and etc. From when they drive up, the hello, smile, enter your name, notice stuff about their car, do walk around, etc. And of course, a lot of dealerships have technology now where they can see the undercarriage, the side, it's videoed, wear and tear, toe and camber, tires and stuff like that for additional talking points. Okay, and then we go to they're in for this oil change, rotate and balance. It's on the lift. Okay, and then we have video MPI. Okay, the rotors are scorched and the pads are under 3 mil. They need new pads. They need a full brake, whatever they need. Right. So in the past, the service advisor tells the customer and they ask how much it is. Well, first of all, is there they pause, maybe there's some reservation, does my car really need it? Of course, video MPI, right? This is your car, it's on the lift, obviously you need it, safety concern. Why in the earth would you want to leave with that when you got two child safety seats in the back or whatever the case may be? Then we have the situation where a lot of companies have data. I mean, Dynatron and several others have data on the 4 or 5 of the most competitive independents that people are driving by and use, from the dealer, right? So you present, scheduling and pricing, etc. You're just telling them once again they don't believe it. So let me pull this up right here. Let me pull this up. Boom, and we're going to go boom, and I'm just going to pick my demo site. Okay, so a lot's changed anyway. But this is how it looks on my Prestige, which is a demo site. So we want to make things a lot easier on the consumer. So if they click schedule service, it's just one click and they're there. If they want to finance with Sunbit, one click and they got the opportunity, they're there. Dare to compare? So watch this. What this is these were shopped. This is what this store is charging. This is what Meineke right around the corner is charging. This is what Firestone on the other side of the corner. And this is a block down the road at Sun Auto. Okay. So this is something that's transparent. You can share. They can call and check it. But then we have this banner up here. So when I click this, and it's just on those services. So here's a standalone SEO page, and with it comes and this is all part of what comes with it. So you see the oil change here, and those same. This is what Maxwell Ford is charging. This is so you're right there in line. Or you can click 4-wheel alignment, pulls up 4-wheel alignment, all the same calls to action, etc. Shows the dare to compare and what they're doing at their store with the itemized list versus what they're offering, etc. for actually less money. Same thing with brake flush, tire rotation, brake flat. Well, this is a custom dealer branded SEO readable by the search engines video of why service with us. So I'm going to play this. It's only 39 seconds.
Maxwell Ford has the expert precision and care for your Ford vehicle. Our factory-trained technicians specialize in Ford vehicles and know your car better than anyone. We're a complete vehicle repair and maintenance facility using genuine Ford parts and OEM-approved fluids to keep your vehicle running at its peak.
Para su comodidad, nuestro centro de servicio cuenta con un equipo hispanohablante listo para atenderle.
Your Ford deserves expert care. Trust us to keep you moving. Visit us off I-35 Frontage Road in Austin or call 737-358-2051. Open from 9 to 8.
Okay, so we got that.
Maxwell Ford.
Excuse me, it's all readable. Then we go further down the page. We don't know if this is going to, we only think at this point in time. So these are the stores that were shopped. And by having them on here, because this is all readable with the search engines, we think, we don't know conclusively yet, time will tell, that if somebody's looking for any of these, that Maxwell Ford will also appear in the organic listings as well, because these are listed on their site. And then, of course, we have the hours and directions. So it's a full blown custom Y service here with all the local shops. That's what I wanted to share.
That is the coolest thing ever. It saves so much time,
Oh my God.
for somebody like me who's like have to call everybody or run
Yeah.
around and say how much.
Yeah.
This is very cool.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're real proud of it. It's very affordable, and yeah, that's just what I wanted. So we showed this to VW yesterday because we're certified and co-opted with them, and they want to roll this out to 180 of their stores in the central region. I mean, and then Group One, that Maxwell Ford is Group One. It should be live in their store in a couple of days, and after we get that going, then they want the other 152 stores to have the same Dare to Compare. They think it's a win-win situation. We'll have the analytics over time to back it up and support it. And there's my 5 minutes, and I yield and stop sharing.
I just hope the SEO comes through like you hope it does too.
Well, I know it does on our others. I
Yeah.
just don't know if it does on this particular one. We know Google and Bing, the search engines, are reading that page,
Right.
directions, hours, the content in the video. It's relative. It's about there, and then of course the text on the side. It's all readable.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you for
right.
sharing.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, Ron, how are you doing?
Good evening. How you guys doing?
Good. They just
Excellent.
this wasn't a sales pitch. They were just letting me share something new I was excited about, so I wanted to share it.
Very exciting.
All good.
Okay, Peter, pick it up. Tell us about NADA. Where is Peter?
Right here,
There's Peter. There
right
he is.
there,
Yeah.
hiding amongst all the brands.
Yeah.
So NADA, it's less than a week away. We're all making our plans to get down to New Orleans. It's going to be an exciting time. I know that we were just contacted that we will be having dealer meetings with a number of big groups. When I say big, the biggest of them all, the top two, and that's significant for us at going into that meeting. We'll also be seeing a number of other multi rooftops, but we're going to be. It's just overall, it's going to be an exciting trip because we got to put in a couple of primary dealer meetings outside the trip. So we're heading out into Louisiana to see a number of dealers. So it's going to be fun. I've personally sent out, I don't know how many people, the listings of all the hospitality events. So everyone's going to be excited about that. I can't wait to meet them. And really, I'm probably the biggest one that I'm looking forward to is an actual breakfast. And that's a breakfast with John Ellis and Frank Knox. And at that breakfast, there's going to be guys like David Long, Brian Benstock, J.R. Toothman. Who else is going to be there? Scott Simons, Todd Caputo, just a number of really interesting people in our industry. It's going to be a remarkable day. That's just going to kick it off. So it's just I think this one more so over Vegas is going to be more work involved rather than fun involved. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I've set my goals of taking on another 3 clients before the end of the show, which is my goal, and I basically believe that it's going to happen. And in the interim, I'll be looking at expanding my good partner's repertoire of dealership groups that he deals with, and getting him and I out into the world of the automotive industry. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I know, Russell, you're trying to make it, which will be a great time to see you again. Wendy, you're booked, you're locked and loaded to be there. I know, Mike, you're not going to make it. Um, are you coming down, Ron?
I am not.
Okay, so we won't see you there. Jimmy, are you coming down?
It's all kinds of politics to get into the cars.com booth. So you guys have fun and have some gumbo on me.
No, dude, red beans and rice. I'm telling you. Mm.
I'm still trying to figure out what a beignet is.
It's a donut, powdered donut.
Fried donut.
That's what it is.
Cafe de Monde, yes,
Yeah.
beignets or powdered donuts. That's all. But the chicory coffee, you got to drink that, man. It's some black, thick stuff, but it's great.
Yeah.
I think
Louisiana.
Fat Tuesday, they're popular all over, right? A bunch of people make them on Fat Tuesday right before Mardi Gras, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Listen, congratulations to you, Peter. I'm so very happy for you. You put a lot of time, effort, energy, and planning not only in this, but building up to this to help, you continue ascent into, all the things that you want to get into. And sometimes I was talking earlier to my wife about something that happened. She said, "Hey, don't do that. You're going to jinx it." Well, she realized what she said right after that, because I'm a firm believer, man. You got to put that energy out there. You got to say it. You got to say it out loud. That's what you want. You don't want to keep it internal. The problem is not that. Here's the problem, or the challenge. The challenge is how you act and react to it if it don't hit your mark. Okay. Do you pick up your toys and go home? You brush yourself off and get your ass out there and just keep grinding, right?
Well, I'll tell you, Michael Jordan said it best. You want to double your success rate, triple your failure rate.
That's right.
And if
I
you
can
don't
sure attest to that one.
don't look at we've had these conversations. We've opened up late night rooms with David and a bunch of other people, and just talked about things off the mark on the car business, more on the psychological side of it. And it's really, we want to fail forward. If you don't fail, you're not trying hard enough.
So, Peter, you're saying that the great Michael Jordan said, if you want to increase your success rate, you have to increase your failure rate.
Correct.
In that case, I predict that the greatest politician in history will be Joe Biden, because the amount of failures he has embraced are breathtaking.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Well, Larry,
That was a layup.
I know that I left that door open for you easily.
Yes,
The challenge with that is he keeps failing. He doesn't learn. And I say a mistake is only a life's learning experience. If you repeat it, it's a mistake. So it's unfortunately that man has not learned anything throughout his career. So that's not failure. That's stupidity. But anyways, we'll move on from that, because we don't want to get into that. What is it? 4 days, 5 days away?
Yep.
5 days away?
22nd.
It's
Or
5
20
days. It's 5 days till Trump gets in, and 64 days till spring gets here. And if anybody wants to break down on the minutes and the hours, let me know. I have very thin blood.
You
Oh,
want to
really?
be outside
Inauguration?
playing tennis, don't you?
What's that, Wen?
Inauguration is in 5 days.
He's
Yeah.
on the
Monday.
20th.
Great American am I.
Yeah. Nah, you're busy. We get it.
It's always the 20th of January.
Yep.
Good to know.
And
November
your partner
5th,
always
November
shows up on December 25th. We got to get these dates straight for you, Wen. We'll get you a calendar.
But the funniest thing I heard was in the parade, that garbage truck that he was in is going to be in the
Yep.
parade.
I thought he's coming in on a fire truck.
Who knows? Who knows what he's going to do? But it's don't and obviously our thoughts and our condolences to the people out in Los Angeles.
Yep.
But please don't discount that it's climate change that caused this.
Oh, of course not.
It is
It
not.
most definitely was climate change. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It is. It's the political climate change. It's the fact that we've gone away from accountability, and we're not. It's okay to be a jerk and to lie to people relentlessly. This idiot Bass. Everybody knows the story. I'm just repeating what everybody knows. She swore if she was elected mayor, she'd never leave the country, and she's been out of the country 5 times. And while the city was getting ready to burn down, she was at a cocktail party. We just need people that are responsible, that'll stand up and say, this is my situation. This is my problem. This is my mess. I'll fix it. But you know what? Let's get off the damn politics. Peter, are you done with your NADA preview? If so, I'll jump in.
It's just truly plan your trip. Make sure you can maximize it. There's only so much time you're there for. So yes, I am done. I'm off my box.
Well, jump in here and talk about, we almost have all the details for Lethal Sales live at NADA.
Almost.
Yeah, the minute we know the when and what, Peter is might be the busiest guy around. He's tied in with a zillion people, and what we're going to do is find some time once he gets there where he and I can eke out an hour. I promise we'll let everybody know, because we enjoy your company and welcome your input so much. We'll let everybody know what we're doing, but we'll make sure it's fun and memorable. I mean, we had a ball when we were at a SodaCon and made that happen. So
I remember.
Yeah, it's gonna be at Styx's booth at Radiant Ride, and it's either going to be Friday or Saturday at noon to 1 o'clock. We just haven't confirmed the day yet.
Cool.
Booth number 8112.
Yeah, 8112. Yes.
So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be able to put that out there.
Well, we still have 10 days for it. So
no, we don't. We do not. That's not how we promote things.
Oh, come on.
He's just trying to drive me nuts. He's doing a good job too.
I'm just stirring it up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's fine.
Where did Jeff Scherer go? He left.
Well, that's because Larry was talking about Republicans.
My friendship survives anything with Mr. Scherer. Runs deep and long. Something pulled him away.
I'm happy for Terry Torterline. That's good. Good news.
For me, you'll all get a kick out of this because you're all very positive people. I think it's why we're all mutually drawn to each other. And I had to grapple with some technical problems the past week. And I said to Rhonda, and Rhonda will substantiate, I'm telling the truth, that Rhonda, I love this. And Rhonda said, are you out of your mind? It was really a tricky week. I said, nope, I thrive on adversity and something good's going to happen. And within 3 hours, I got 2 calls from 2 different dealer groups in Florida that want me to come out and kick butt. I got a referral in Mississippi from a dealership group that wants me to recruit for them. And I think I'm up to 6 different people between today and yesterday and the day before that got hired. So I guess the key is to always remember there's somebody out there, like the people in Los Angeles, like people in their hospitals, that really have a problem. And all adversity does is make us a little stronger. And hopefully, if it's smart, teach us to appreciate that we're breathing, that we're above ground, and that we have opportunities. And if all that wasn't enough, tomorrow I'm getting to hang with Ron Baus, who I believe is still on the show. Ron, can you hear me?
There he is.
Yes, I can hear you.
I had the privilege of meeting Ron Baus about a year or so ago, maybe a little longer, and we've really developed a hell of a close relationship. And I have the pleasure of working with his team tomorrow. He's got a mix of really ambitious younger guys and some older guys that aren't burned out. And I'm not going to lie to you, I can't wait to get to his store tomorrow and have some fun. And on top of that, he and I are working together, fingers crossed, to get him a terrific person to help augment his service team. And I'm just excited. Love to see good things happen to good people like my buddy Ron.
Yeah. Yeah. Ron, where's your store at?
He's on the phone. It's in Swedesboro, New Jersey.
No, I'm here. I'm actually just as I'm listening to you guys. I'm doing the dishes. I'm in Swedesboro, New Jersey. So I'm right about best way to describe it is you know where Philadelphia Airport is. I'm legit 20 minutes away. Like just
That's
95
not an
from America.
accurate description. Russell, if you go to the end of the world and make a left at the Dragons, you'll see this little Chrysler store and a crazy Jewish guy trying to train the people.
Yeah. Although we're growing, you know, the area is growing. um, no, but just to kind of piggyback on just the experience I had with, you know, Larry had sent me a couple candidates. I had one guy, I had the Zoom call from Florida. That was a little awkward. And I got this guy, another applicant, and I reached out. I was a little concerned because he's a little far away. And so he decided, him and his wife, to come, you know, to take a ride. This was on Saturday. And, you know, it turned out to be just a regular interview. Turned out to be like 3.5 hours. And then when I go over the pay plan, he brings his wife in. So that's when I realized I have to close the wife on the whole idea. And the long and short of it is me and this guy really clicked. Matter of fact, I just talked to him tonight. You know, just trying to get a couple things set up. So for the first time in a long time, it's like, it's encouraging because it's very, I don't have to tell you guys, very frustrating, challenging being, especially in the service department. Fact was Larry was, you know, joking a little bit earlier about, you know, some of the politicians and how they're in cocktail parties. I thought he was talking about Stellantis upper management because that's what it kind of felt like for, you know, the last
No,
year.
Ron, I don't mean to correct you. You know, you're my dear friend, but they're not drinking. They have to be doing serious drugs with the policies they've all done the last 2 years.
Well, you know, I guess over
Maybe
Europe,
hallucinogenics, Ron.
yeah. I guess in Europe the wine's better there, but it doesn't matter.
I
Anyway.
can see them doing 2 lines of coke and going, "Hey, let's make one of these vehicles worth $107,000."
Yeah, trust me, I know. So, you know, finally, you know, we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, but it's been, man, it's just been a long time coming. It's just been, I almost feel like this is my, you know, 2009 again when, you know, my father passed, the franchise is bankrupt, you know, and I'm stuck with, you know, $1 million worth of motorhomes that weren't worth 10 cents on the dollar. And, you know, it was like I felt like it was a repeat, but, you know, by the grace of God, hey, got through it and we'll get through this. It's really challenging because one thing you start to see is your brand. You really need, you know, you need somebody that's in tune that knows how to do it. You know, with everything from warranties to, you know, just factory issues and stuff like that. So I'm encouraged is basically, you know, what I'm getting at. I got the guy with a lot of experience and, you know, he's looking forward to coming down and who knows, he might be able to snag a tech with him along the way and we'll see what happens. So I know that at the end of this, if I can get the service department, you know, up and running where it is, you know, just increase the overall absorption, you know, will just really take the pressure off, you know, from sales. You know, and then hopefully increase sales. So who knows? 2025 is, you know, like I said.
What do you mean? What do you mean if?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You and me working together. You can write it down. It's going to be a guarantee.
Yeah. When it all happens, you know, like I said, it's the last year and a half, 2 years have seemed a little challenging. So I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel here. But the point that I'm making is it's just so key to get the right people, you know, rowing with you in the right direction. You know, I have a lot of good people, but sometimes they're just, you know, I feel like they're, you know, kids at home without parental guidance, you know. So unfortunately, that's part of why I'm, you know, like I listen, I didn't even go to my 20 group meeting, which is this week because of all this crap that's been happening back there. So I need to kind of get this over the line and, you know, hand the keys over to him and, you know, like I said, see what we can do to get it to the next level.
We'll get it handled in the next 2 weeks, my buddy. Fear not.
Yeah, good for you. I'm glad there's light at the end of the tunnel. You seem to be that kind of guy anyway. You just keep moving and things are really positive things are gonna happen for you this year, Ron.
Do you see how happy and how relieved he looks since I showed up? I think all of you should immediately hang up, call 5 of your friends and recommend me. They also deserve to have this feeling of elation that comes. And I'm doing it strictly as a public service. Forget my charge.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, if you don't ask Russell, the answer is always no.
It's always no. So how many bays do you got, Ron?
You're muted.
I
Sorry
am.
about
There
that.
you
We
go.
have
No.
Oh,
Sorry about that. We have it's if you include the alignment bay, we have 10 bays. I have right now. I have one. What I did was I took my about 2 months ago. We took our master tech and I made him a shop foreman, and basically really changed the culture in the shop in a positive way. Um, Currently, as far as technicians, I have two in the express lane, and I have four in the main shop. But a couple, the two that are in the main shop are still like that entry, not entry level, but just coming into that, once they test out, they'll get the level two. And then I got another guy, level two is going to be level three. Then I got another guy who is, I believe he's level three certified, but I'm still trying to verify some of the stuff with him, but he also has GM experience as well too. So, ideally I'd like to get one more technician, um, and then like I said, but I've been able to manage the shop, the daily flow with the guys that I have, we get it
right.
done. But what I'm blown away by is how this organized it can get. So one of the things we are trying to do is everything goes to the foreman then passes the work out, and then he, if they get stuck, he's able to jump in, stuff like that. But the problem is, some of it is just like you got to babysit the guys a little bit. So I don't think that's like anything that's like, shocking. I mean, I'm sure every store has their, you know, inefficiencies, if you will. But, I've been literally almost parked back there, to the point where I'll just stand right in the middle of the shop and just watch these guys. So, I'll just pull my computer right out there and start working. So because they don't have leadership at this point. You know what I mean? Like they're basically. I have my parts manager who's helping, and they go to him and my foreman. But at the end of the day, you still kind of need somebody that has got to either take the heat or push them forward or whatever the case is.
Do you have a good like combination of warranty and customer pay, and I mean it stays.
Well, so yes, but so part of my challenge, Russell, has been so we have obviously plenty of warranty work. However, there's a whole process. Like just because it's covered in the warranty doesn't
Oh
mean they're
yeah.
just going to ship you anything.
Hell
So
no.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm literally and part of the problem is, and I've been on these guys about their notes. Like listen, everything you do, you have to write because we need
Yeah.
a story to put in. I have a girl that's handling my warranty administration. She does good for the amount of time she has. I had WarCloud as a warranty processing company. They're pretty good in helping. So basically, the way they work is you submit everything to them, or you submit whatever you need to them. They will look at it before they send it. They will come back to me and say, "Well, you need a story, you need a ticket, you need this." Like, listen, I'm gonna like just it's so like trivial, but yet it's costing me money. Is like we
Yeah, it
had a
is. Yeah.
we had a guy that had a battery and it was covered, everything's fine. Well, they didn't get the printout for the battery slip, so when they send it, it gets rejected. So it's like 300-400 bucks, five, whatever it is, and it's like, well, we forgot the battery slip. I'm like, I don't know how you forget any of this shit. So it's like, and the other thing too is I don't know if you're aware of this. So there's a machine, it's called GR8. That's one of your charging, like chargers. Then they moved up to something called Maximus. So you can only use the GR8 on up to 2022, I think, maybe 2000. I forget what it is. Then everything has to go to the Maximus. Well, the Maximus, is like, first of all, the machine's 5Gs. And, like, and now with the weather, obviously I'm having batteries left and right. So, and you need the printout to get all this stuff, done. So one of the things, I like to scour auctions and stuff. So there's a dealer somewhere in the middle of PA that auctioned off all their stuff. So I ended up picking up a second Maximus battery charger for like half the money, and the thing looks
Good.
brand new. So
Good.
now I got like, it's just stuff like this you pay attention to, and it's like I probably bought more battery chargers in the last year than I have in the last 15 years. I literally have one guy, his routine is start the problematic cars, stuff like that. So while some of that stuff bogs you down, if you can get somebody assigned to it, it helps. So
Sure.
just to, so these are some of the stuff that, and listen, I'm not a service manager, but I'm
Yeah.
looking at this stuff and I'm like, this is like common sense stuff. I don't understand, like how they're not, sometimes they're not thinking this way. Like
And
it's
so,
just like, it's incredible because even how they schedule when they do work, it's like you have a waiter, like, so we have a system where all our ROs go into a colored file. So, for example, if it's a blue file, then it's my car, new or used. If it's a black folder, then the car was in, we're waiting on a part, or it's down, that kind of thing. And a red folder is if it's a wait. Now, the other thing we started doing was say we have a special order part, we got to bring the customer back. Well, they bring the car, and then it comes in. Well, it's got to be installed that day. Well, if we put it in a black folder, it'll kind of get kicked, like kind of kicked down the curb a little bit versus now that they see the red folder and as managers, we see it walk around. We know there's a sense of urgency to get this stuff, moving like
sure.
by the end of the day. It's just so like it's simple, but they complicate it, and I can't figure it out, So like I said, once you get some competent, responsible people, I think it'll all. And I think, listen, my guys are good. It's like anything else. You have good people that were under a previous leadership, previous manager, and he sucked. There's just no other way to say it. Just he was just,
And he's gone now, right?
he's gone. He's
Okay.
gone.
All right, listen,
And
this is
yeah.
all in the past, Russ. I got him the right guy. I'm going to be at his store
Boom.
tomorrow. We're going to rock.
Okay.
Let's Ronnie, can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jeff Scherer showed me a bunch of the little things, and we're working with him. And then let's jump to Wendy and see what Jimmy's up to. And my buddy Mike Larkin and I are working a bunch of stuff. Did we lose Jeff Scherer again?
I think Jeff is having technical difficulties. He's been in and out.
I'll be right back.
I'm so damn tired of him calling me to come over and rewire his computer. Like, enough with that. You know what I'm saying? It's, learn your stuff, man. I mean, I'm on it. All right. How about Wendy? I know you said Fred is not joining you this trip, which is sad because we love Fred. What's going on in your wonderful world and Dynamite show today, too, by the way?
So things going on. This is a public show, so I probably should have hit you guys all up separately, but because I'm solo and because I've never been to New Orleans and because Fred's normally my bodyguard, not that I'm afraid, but it's also New Orleans. When we have our party Friday night, I got to be sampling some bourbon and hitting on some cigars, So if anybody sees me weaving or whatever because they don't normally drink, no, just kidding. I had an interview with a small chat with one of the Carnell girls and Jordan Cox and Jason Harris today because Jason's going to MC our event on Friday from 4 to 7. It's going to be a super cool event. A lot of the other companies in our V20 group with David Kane are part of the sponsors, and then AET Automotive is going to put it on. So if anybody wants to go to that, please send me a text message and I'll tell you the trick to get around because they accidentally leaked the link publicly to the Eventbrite on the ASOTU NADA parties list. So they had some vendors signing up like 28 people from Friday over the weekend. And it took them forever to sort through it. So, but we've got that party going on. I'll tell you what, guys, 25 to thrive in 25, it's going to be about partnerships. And I'm going to spend all my time in the expo hall and all the people that Peter, that I've met through you. I want to see Osman. I want to see Robin and actually spend some time on all that stuff. I want to talk about some of those other things. I want to spend some time at Carnell. I want to spend a lot of time where I think it's a time where we're not even thinking, those of us that never have a scarcity mindset, we're cool. But those that do, I just think we need to band together with the people in our own verticals as well, in our own spaces or our own lanes or whatever, like me with BDC, because with the pivots with AI and BDC, I think my favorite thing about NADA is educating myself on the options that are available for our dealers. So that's what I intend to do. And if there's anything where I can provide part of the human side to those tech providers or SaaS providers or simply strategy conversations with dealers to talk about their options. I mean, I'll tell you what happened. I landed 2 new accounts since yesterday, closed them both, got the signed agreements today. Like I'm on fire and because I'm so pumped about NADA. One's my first international, Peter. I got the Mazda store in Alberta, or wherever British Columbia is, somewhere on wherever that is. It's a Mazda store on the Pacific Coast, but we're going to be with them. And then I also got an agency thing with, and then I got another store that is another Toyota store in the Midwest. Because what's happening is a lot of these providers of chat and everything else that they're doing, they're dropping the human piece, you guys. They're expecting their written stuff. Like there was a product, I don't want to give the names out because the one company is super big, but they got rid of the human piece. So I think I'm wrong in thinking that it's just going to be strategy and help with implementation and management of the tools and the process and the people. I think they're still going to need the appointment setters with the phone skills. So I just intend to be there in full stoke it all up mode. So anybody that's bored or is going solo or doesn't mind a silver hanging out with them while they're walking the booths, hit me up. And I'd love to spend some time because I'm like 6 miles from the event too. So I'm not going to Uber more than once a day, right? So that's what I got going on. Peter gave me some great tips, and I'm working very hard on my strategy now and on a floor map because last year I was lost. I was like, which way is North Hall? Are you in North Hall, South Hall? Which is this? Which is that? And even the people that sent me there, I never made it to their booth because I was searching for booths all day long. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, the NADA app works well.
NADA what?
App.
The NADA app will really help cut down on that confusion.
Yeah. I just wanted to get all my content and everything set up first, and I had to do a lot of stuff for the sponsorship. But I'm pumped. I'm focused. I just got to put it all down on paper and make a map.
I can tell you're on fire.
Wednesday.
You're ready to go, aren't you?
It's going to be awesome.
Jeff, are you going to be joining us? Is he back?
No, I'm not going.
Hey, there's my buddy. How are you, Fred? We're going to miss you, man.
How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous.
Good.
Great to see you.
Fred's gone from Santa Claus to old. Well, he was Old McDonald. Now he's looking like the skipper.
You notice?
Love it.
I just got a haircut last night.
I love it. I love it. Mr. Larkin, I know you're not going towards to NADA, but I know you're working on a million projects because you're working on a bunch of with me. Tell us what's new in your world and what's happening and what you look forward to maybe having us ask or find out for you while we're in New Orleans.
Yeah. A whole new mentality as far as mindset goes on especially for car dealers, but for fixed ops, well, I'm going to talk to you, Russell, one of these days. When people are searching for products and services, they're typing in oil change, Austin, Texas. And there's 1,900 people typing in oil change, Austin, Texas, or if they're in Austin, Texas, it shows up on Google because they're in Austin, Texas.
Right.
1,900 people a month. And the tool I have is looking up 1 through 10, and it's telling us via color codes which ones are hard. You can't move those. They've been there forever. And which ones are weak? Those are weak spots that you can sneak in. So we tried this. What if we were to do buying the oil change Austin, Texas, or austintx.com? Could you slip that in there? And when people are looking up on the number 1 position, find your coupon.
Yeah.
Wicked stuff. But for some of the other friends in the car industry, they're not even part of the conversation when somebody puts in used car Atlanta. There's 49,500 people typing in used car, and if they're in Atlanta, they're not even part of the conversation. They're just they're whisked off to third party. I was like, wow, that is incredible. And that is
pretty cutting edge stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a huge get if the right people are kind of seeing their light bulb click on. Kick, why aren't we there? At least gathering up that data every single month by that volume of people in their own market. So that's what we're excited about. We have a process, and we use one of our clients as a guinea pig. I let them know you're going to be a guinea pig.
That's the future, Mike. That's the future, Mike.
But right now in 2 weeks, he's got over 5,000 people locally looking him up where he didn't have that before. He's like, what the hell did you do? We took 10 of the keywords that are volumized, right? And we
Well,
put
if
them
somebody
in.
asked me that, I wouldn't say talk to Mike Larkin. That's a hell. I'm not. That's a secret, man.
Well, really, it's not a secret, but that if it's information that you can gain ducats and money from immediately, then the secret is all. But when you tell somebody and they're like, "Oh, that's nice information," it's like going to Tony Robbins and walking on fire. I walked on fire, but what are you going to do about it? What are you going to
Yeah,
do with the information you got?
that's wicked stuff, man.
But it is wicked.
Hey, tell everybody I said hello in the morning. I'll be in surgery at the time of great news meeting tomorrow. Okay.
Absolutely, my friend, and good luck with all that.
Thank
I'm
you.
praying for your doctor that he has his coffee in him. So,
Well,
There we go.
he's using AI and a robot. Believe it or not.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, Jimmy Emanuel, we know you said you're not going, but we'd love to hear what you're working on and what's going on. And same question. Is there anything we can nose around and ask for you? Because this is our little community here seems to all thrive to help each other. So what's on your mind, Jimmy? And
A
and we
couple,
appreciate saying.
yeah,
And
no worries.
Jimmy, just say it like it is, brother. We can handle it. Go ahead.
Take the filter off. Just let it roll. um, got a couple of things working. Larry, I think you and I should connect out offline. I have an idea or two that I think that could be mutual. Out in the field all day, every day, grinding on dealers and doing monthly
Do,
performance
do you
reviews.
do you happen to have a pen? I see team pennants, but if you have a pen, my brother,
I
I'm going
got
to
a
give you
pencil.
my cell phone, and I
I got
actually
it.
answer the damn thing. It's 215
Yep.
407 5174. 215 407 5174. If you call me after the show for a minute or two, I would love to talk to you. And if for any reason you lose that number, Russell has it tattooed on its hand. So every time he shakes hands with people, he can remind them about Larry Culp.
Listen. I'm not really a betting man, but I would bet probably $20 bill that when you call, he'll pick up the phone in person.
Well, that's listen. It's attitude. It's like the story of a guy who walks up to a guy selling
Yeah,
soft pretzels, and he says, "How much are your soft pretzels?" He says, "They're $17,411.02." Guy says, "I hate to tell you your business, but you're not going to sell many at that price. Says, I'm only looking to sell one." So if you pick up the phone, if you make it clear to everybody that you're all in all the time. Jimmy, I closed the deal today with a guy, and he said, "Well, everybody, three people told me you're really good. What's your secret?" I says, "How many people do you call a day?" He says, "A lot." He says, "How many answer the phone?" He says, "Not many." That's my secret. If you respond to people, if you make it clear you're important enough for me to talk to you, you're in. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jimmy. Call me after the show. I would love to talk to you, but tell us about what's going on with you and what's happening.
I guess I have a question for the floor. Something that I've been inquiring about in the back of my mind.
When you say
When
the floor, Wendy isn't drunk yet, so she's not laying on the floor. Or did you mean in a general sense, people on the show?
yeah, I mean, we just got through the holidays and whatnot, and you see dealers, promoting, come meet Santa, and you see trunk or treats, and you see all kinds of different things going on at the dealership level, trying to be a little bit more involved in the community. I mean, how does the dealer pull that off? Do they use a sales manager to do that? Do they have somebody in the back of the house, or maybe a controller or the internet
Let me let,
manager?
let, let
How
me
do
throw an answer at you, and then let's go around the room and get everybody's answer. I think the problem with that, and you guys can disagree with me or agree with me, is it's the same faulty mentality as acting like it's the last 3 or 4 days of the week of the month that matter, rather than putting the heat on from day one and realizing that every day matters. If your culture is right, I mean, which business on earth does more community work than we do? Forget about the people that we employ. Man, every dealer I know contributes to the military, to this. They give cars away, they do things. So if you make it clear to your culture that you're always involved, I think it's less necessary to put on a specific show, if you know what I mean, Jimmy. Um, but I don't know that there's a universal way of they handle it. But I think if your idea is to not constantly be immersed in your community, but to throw, darts here and there, I don't think it's going to be as effective. It's like talking how important your customers are, and then giving your customers a hard time.
No, maybe I need to rephrase my thought. I some dealers, I don't know if they have the time to organize events like that at their store.
Okay.
And if it's easy for them to knock it out, great. Do they pass it up because it's too much work? If is there something there that maybe you can introduce the dealer and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we can do something on a quarterly basis, that kind of thing, and take
Sure.
that.
Oh, that's a
Take
whole
that.
different. So you're talking about something you could get involved in where you help things make sense, where it's easier for them rather than trying to do it themselves. I'd be glad to do that.
You
I
know
mean,
what, Jimmy? I think that the people who are very successful at that have somebody dedicated in their dealership
Yep.
doing calendar work like that. They know the community calendar, and they're arranging all these events. They're hot on social media and all the community groups on Facebook. So everybody knows about it. It absolutely has to be somebody
Dedicated.
designated to do that.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's hit or miss. I
But we
think
could
that's what
still
Larry
May
said.
I
introduce you, but we could still introduce Jimmy to the people we know, because those people usually they're always looking for an outlet or a help. Jimmy, we'll be glad to help you with that. Glad to.
Well, see, some
And
sort of
Jimmy, if
some
you
groups like.
remember, oops, sorry, go ahead.
Go
Good,
ahead, Wendy.
good, Wendy.
I was going to say, you're probably not old enough to remember, but they used to call that role the historian.
Really?
Yeah, in the dealership. That's why when I was back in Milwaukee anyway, things that I was involved with, we would have a historian that would be responsible to take all the photos of all the events and find out what was going on and get it to whoever they needed to get it to, because it wasn't super big and social or whatever. So it's the same things that already existed. We just need to bring them back to now and figure out how you can do them, Jimmy. But it's a fabulous idea, I think, because you need dedication. You
Well,
need
some
one
group.
dedicated person that's going to be the lane they stay in, and they get along with everybody. And you know what? That's going to be the help with the bridge that still exists between marketing and BDC or internet
Yeah.
sales. Because marketing drives them to your website, and so are the community events and the historian things. What you're involved with, what you're doing in the community. It's community involvement, I guess. Let's call it. But then you have to make sure that all that's there when they get you to the website, but then that your BDC or internet sales department is aware of all of that as well, so they can share it with prospective customers as the why buy from us.
Right.
So it's a great idea.
There's a company, I think it's called Hello Neighbor. It doesn't have anything to do with auto, but they kind of do these events and maybe adopt a pet or something like that. And some of the groups like Cavender, they have a designated Cavender Cares, and they cover all kinds of community outreach projects outside of the car business. But I think, Larry, you're right. I think sometimes there is a dedicated person there, but what if there's not? I mean, there's probably a lot of dealerships that would like to do something like that. They just don't know how, or they don't want to. They don't want to put somebody on their staff. Maybe there is an opportunity for a service to come in and say, "Hey, let's do a first responder type of chili cook-off, that kind of thing."
Mm-hmm.
You don't know unless you ask, Jimmy, because a lot of it's like, think about how many times we've heard this call from a customer on a sales call. Do you take trade-ins? And you're chuckling, going, "Do we take? Man, we live for trade-ins." So there might be dealerships that would love to have this involvement, but again, don't have the time or don't have the
Right.
organization or don't have a dedicated person. So we can, believe it or not, I'm supposed to talk to my good and great friend Mike Larkin after this show. But if you call me as soon as we disconnect, I'd love to spend a couple minutes with you, particularly going into NADA, because I plan to shake a lot of hands and tell a lot of jokes.
Okay.
And Jimmy, there are event places like Eventbrite out there that create all those things, and even and they mess them up. They're really difficult platforms.
Yep.
Like I talked about, was getting messed up with our event in New Orleans. So they're too big. They charge too much money. You give them that personal thing, and look at how we set up sales events where we bring all these outfits in for these credit amnesty ads or 3-day sale or whatever. Why not create community events? Why not get out in the
Right.
communities and reach out to people and find out and do some help with other local small businesses or whatever even. And yeah, you could be that coordinator, that event
Hey,
coordinator.
Ron Boss, would you like Jimmy to set something up at your dealership when we execute those bad service people? Might get a nice play on the internet.
Hey, you never know.
Oh, God.
So, Ron, do you guys do anything like that? Do you have a designated person? Do you how do you trunk or treat or meet Santa Claus or 4th of July celebration? Do you guys do anything like that?
So as far as like celebration coordination, that kind of stuff you're referring to, I actually do have it's actually my sister-in-law who works with us, and she sets a lot of those events up. Helps with the Christmas party. But the other thing too is like if we get response from, or like say there's a trunk or treat, like I actually have two people that kind of work on it. So we're a small town, so we try to get involved with a lot of the grassroots stuff, if you will. So it we know enough people where it's like, there's a couple hands on it. Like just to give you an example, like I'm president for the business association of our town. Again, it's a small town. It's not like a big title sounds bigger than who we are, but I do the Memorial Day service with, when we do it in town. Like I'll just, come and read and, whatever they want me to do, stuff like that. So we try to be proactive with some of the stuff you're talking about, but it doesn't, we're a small enough store that there's enough hands that, it all somehow funnels back to me or, and my brother and I, we run the store. So, we're kind of, I don't have to know everything, or he can handle some, I'll handle the other, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Thank you, guys.
So, Jimmy, you and I have talked a little bit about that. I certainly see something there. And usually you've heard some bits and pieces here. It's either somebody inside or an outside agency or somebody from time to time or is retained full time. They're part of the marketing efforts, the historical. I forgot about that, Wendy, where there's a story to tell. It's a lot easier to tell today. And just because of social media and all the phones and stuff like that. But I think if it's right, those community events, which everybody's really involved with, no more than dealerships are probably, like Larry said, more than any other probably single. I mean, just in their local, like churches, just there to support and lift up the community and stuff like that. And that's what dealerships are doing all the time locally. Some of them do a better job. They're all doing it. But some of them are doing a much better job at making sure they're visible and exposed and stuff like that. When special events come up, there's a certain time frame involved for execution and, to get a lot of eyeballs and people talking about it in the community. And, maybe there's hot dogs and hamburgers or a local radio, DJ or something like that. That's the kind of stuff you're talking about, special event stuff, or what?
Yes, exactly that. And I think that some stores, have the bandwidth to do it internally, and some stores probably have it's on their dream list. And, if you can take the pain away and have that kind of service for a dealer, it post it all over Facebook, so stuff like that. It could be a win-win.
Well, if I was sitting here thinking, okay, dealers certainly have the resources to pull off something like that, but I would say that they've given it a little bit of a time and attention and then passed it off to somebody else because there's always something going on. There's always a reaction, or they're either being proactive or reactive. maybe not necessarily the dealer, but you know how that is. Taking care of technicians, advisors, meetings with the GM, with the OEM, and then I got a meeting with. I got to get stuff on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and got all this stuff going on. And they would much rather hand it off to somebody than do it themselves, I suspect.
Yeah.
Russell, you're
Jimmy,
100% right. The two dealerships that reached out to me today have big human resources departments, but they want me because they know I'll cut through the red tape and the bureaucracy and I'll make it easy. So
That's right.
Yep.
Jimmy,
Peter, who was the
easy
guy
easy
you had
fix.
last week? Yeah,
Pardon?
and who was the guy you had last week, Peter? Even Jimmy, get him airtime on the local news.
Yeah.
Like that Jimenez lady. What was her first name? Forgive me, that sounds very rude. Jacqueline Jimenez taught everybody how to get your dealership noticed by the local news. So even that, Jimmy, would be a worthwhile effort to build their branding in their communities.
Yep. You go on Facebook and you say, I'm looking for somebody to help me with community events. And you will have people knocking down your door, small marketing or social media companies. They will charge you a retainer fee that's tiny compared to the value that they'll give you, and they will come in and they will handle the whole thing for you. If you don't have anybody in house, all you have to do is give them a little time for planning so they can show you the calendar and what they want to do and what the budget's going to be, and they will do it for you. There are people who will do this for you. So it's not something you struggle with.
What Jimmy's looking to do is be the guy doing it rather than hunt down the other people. Correct, Jimmy?
Yep.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Call me after the show. Hey, listen, we're at our time. Russell, speediest and most complete recovery possible, my friend. Everybody
Russell.
that's going to be there, I can't wait to see you. The people that aren't, we'll bring back a ton of information, and I promise you, the minute we have it figured out, we'll let everybody know what, why, when, and where for our show. Anything else, Peter? Anything else, Rhonda?
No, I'm pretty much tapped out. I've been hammering this for about 3 weeks, and I can barely keep up with you guys anymore.
All right, well then let me close out. I had the extreme pleasure of meeting Peter initially on the Auto Hub show, our dear friends Ian and Jeff, but where I really locked in with them was at the NADA in Dallas, and we have entered an unshakable friendship. Obviously, he jumped into Lethal Sales when Brian Maxwell, as much as we love him, got really too busy. And I'm also excited to just run around with Peter and meet as many people and raise as much havoc as is physically possible. So,
it's going to be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. So we'll see you all in the Big Easy. I'm there on Tuesday. So
thank you.
Safe
care.
travels,
Russell,
everybody.
all the best, Russell.
Thank you very much.
All the best, Russell.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.